Welcome to Football with Cheese. Draft's almost here. It's tomorrow. I'm just going to make one video today. Basically go over how to approach each round of the draft and trading up, trading down, how that works. So make sure you are subscribed so you never miss a video. Tomorrow I'm going to do a final mock. And I'm also going to do a video on rumors, which ones I believe, which ones I don't, leading up to the draft. So how would I approach each round of the draft? Basically, I have my board, 1 through 200, or however many people on the board. Okay, and everyone would be in tiers. For example, Aston GNT, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter would be in their own tier because those are the only top 10 talents in this class. And then probably Mason Graham would be in his own tier, like the second tier. And then probably 6 or 7 guys like the 2 tight ends, Warren and Loveland, would be in tier 3. And then there'd probably be about 15 or 20 in tier 4. Like I said, there's not much difference between 17 and 67 in this draft. But that means late second, early third round, you're going to get a potential top 50 talent on your board. That's why a lot of teams want to trade down. They want an extra day 2 pick. Okay, so you've heard this before. The best player available regardless of position. Charlie Casserly, former GM of the Redskins and the Texans, talk about this. No, you can't do that. You want to, but you can't take the best position on the board regardless of position. No, you need to take the best player on the board, but pay attention to positional value. Because every round, 1 through 7, a running back could be the best player on your board. You're not taking 7 running backs. You have other needs to fill. So in the first round, I want a premium position: quarterback, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, edge rusher. Maybe a shutdown corner if you play a lot of man. Most teams play zone these days, but maybe a Patrick Surtain type shutdown corner. But those are the premium positions. There are teams that will value tight end and wide receiver as a premium position as well, but you can find those usually in the second, third round. If I like a running back and edge rusher the same, the edge rusher is probably going to be 1 tier up. If I like an off-ball linebacker and a left tackle the same, the left tackle is probably getting moved up a tier. Or the off-ball linebacker gets moved down, one or the other. So that's the reason why running backs, off-ball linebackers, cornerbacks sometimes fall. There was no corner taken in the top 20 last year. And 2 were expected to be. There was no running back taken in the top 40. So now, first round, I want to get a Pro Bowler. I want to get a playmaker. I want a really good player to build around. That's why you'll see teams take chances on elite athletes that aren't necessarily the greatest football players at this point because they see all-pro potential. This guy could be a 7-time all-pro at his position, maybe even a Hall of Famer. And, of course, some of those don't always work out. Round 2. Well, let's do round 2 and 3 together. Day 2 is rounds 2 and 3. This is where you can find your wide receivers, your running backs, your guards, your centers, your off-ball linebackers. Because positional value has pushed these guys down the board. I love taking receivers and running backs in day 2. You can get your starting running back. You can get starting guards. You can maybe get number 1 receivers in day 2. At worst, you get probably a very good number 2. Those are the positions likely to be best on your board. But the best player on your board is a right tackle or an edge rusher. Oh, absolutely take him. Absolutely. And there's no position probably that teams value differently than corner. Some teams like the Baltimore Ravens will take a corner as the best player on the board in the first round. Other teams like Green Bay have taken 1 corner in the first 3 rounds since 2018. And that was Eric Stokes in the first round. Total bust. Terrible player. So each team evaluates positions differently, especially corner. But you can find starting corners in day 2 as well. So I want starters. My first, second, third round picks. Maybe 4th round as well. 4th round, what you hope is some guys that you had maybe in your top 60 or 70 fell past 100. That's what you're hoping. You can still get starters. So I'm still trying to find starters in round 4. Depends on the draft. Sometimes if it's not a deep draft, then by round 4, you're finding your backups, your special teamers. This draft is pretty deep. Bad at the top, but it's pretty deep. So you're going to find starters in round 4. So typically rounds 5, 6, and 7, you're filling out your roster. You're drafting your 4th tight end, your 5th linebacker, your 5th corner, your fifth wide receiver, your third running back, maybe a backup quarterback, positions like that. Sure, you can take a chance on a guy that maybe has an injury history or a character, or someone who's just a really good athlete, but the production isn't there. They're just not a finished product. They need a lot of work. But the main focus, especially around 6 and 7, is getting good special teamers, maybe a return man, maybe a kicker or punter. If you decide they're worthy of drafting, I might use a 7th rounder on a kicker or punter if I feel like my roster is pretty full at that point. And then undrafted. Basically, you're just guessing. You're just guessing and hoping one or two make your team. Maybe one turns into a starter. Most of them don't. I would really lean on the scouts if I'm the GM. I'd tell the scouts, pick your favorite guys, call them up, let's try to sign them undrafted. So that's how I'd approach the draft. I prefer trading down as opposed to trading up. Trading up is you're basically trying to fill a need at a specific position that might be the last player in your tier. So if you have 8 players in your tier and all 7 have been drafted and you're 10 spots down, you want to move up 10 spots because that player's probably not going to be there when you pick. I prefer trading down. I want depth. That's what trading down is. And when you trade down and you have more picks, you can take more chances on maybe a high upside guy. You can also draft 2 or 3 at the position. I can draft 3 corners if I need a corner. I can draft 2 tight ends. I can draft 3 edge rushers. You get the point. So a lot of teams that prefer trading up will have 6 to 8 picks at most. I prefer 10 to 12, maybe even 14. Why not? And you're not going to hit on every pick. So I like having depth. So what do you think? Do you like my philosophy? Would you prefer to trade up for a specific player, a specific position? Do you like trading down for depth? Both can work. The analytics show it's 63% of the time the team that trades down wins. So keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much. I'm really enjoying making these videos. We're over 80 subscribers. The draft is tomorrow. So excited. It's going to be a crazy draft. There are going to be picks in the teens that analysts have second-round grades on. It's going to be insane. Like I said, there's not much difference between 17 and 67. Watch out for that. It's going to ruin most mock drafts. I'm going to try to be as accurate as possible. Look for that tomorrow. Check these out if you have not. Share those with anyone who loves football and grow the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.